I get up to the porch and the guy turns around and I'm like, oh. Hey everyone, so Shayla is here. I figured I'd give you guys a story time. Slightly embarrassing, but we gonna get through it. Back in 2019, I ran up my credit card just a little bit too much. Swiper was swiping. I asked my mom if I could borrow a couple of dollars because I wanted to pay my credit card off in full. I don't play about my credit. So, of course, she said, I ain't got it. I knew she had it, but you know, I got myself into this. I gotta get myself out of it. So I just figured, you know, why don't I be a good American citizen and do this the legal way? I applied for Postmates. It was a pretty easy process. They just did a background check and I mean, I got the job. I don't think they really deny you unless like you a felon or something. I don't know the policy, but anywho, my first day, I told myself, okay, so I'm just gonna do 4 orders and, you know, see where that gets me. Because I know depending on how much someone gives you a tip, you could be straight. And I just wanted to reach a certain amount before I just like stop completely. First day, the first 3 orders were like, you know, it was okay, but let me just say that in LA, there is nowhere to park. The car that I had was just not equipped for Postmates. I kept turning off and turning on my car because first you gotta go pick up the food. Hopefully the food is ready by the time you get it. And then you have to drive however far to get to the destination. The first 3 orders was pretty easy. And then the 4th order, it was like really late, super dark. I live in the valley, so I was just going around in my area. That's it. They had me pick up some food from Fat Burger. I don't know if you guys ever ate there before, but it's just like fast food place and you know, just like regular burger and fries. But this particular order, listen, my whole car was smelling like onions. I don't know what this person ordered. I remember that the receipt said O, so their name was just like one letter, O. And I saw there was just like a burger and fries, but like, dang, what was in the burger to where it was smelling up my whole car? I get to the street, and mind you, I'm familiar with this area. I used to live in this area. They had me going down this really narrow street that I wasn't familiar with. I parked, but I knew that I could not park there for long. It was really dark, hardly any type of street lights, but I saw a lot of big houses. I'm like, okay. I get to, you know, the destination. I'm just at this point a little scared to get out my car because it's super dark. It got really late. I don't know how I got to like 9:30-ish, 10 o'clock, but I was just like, okay, this is way past my point of delivering food. Like after this order, this is going to be my last order. I'm gonna be done after this. It started raining. I'm like, oh my God. I'm here and I called the person. They did not answer the phone. I saw like some kids coming down the street. One of them looked grown though. And I'm thinking like, oh, okay, so maybe, you know, this is the person and they food and they just wanted me to like, you know, just come here as the destination and pick up their food here. I like get out my car and I say, hey, did you order Postmates? And they're like, no. I'm like, okay. And I got back in my car real quick. I called the person again and they did not answer. So I texted them and I was like, hey, it's Postmates. I'm here with your food. I waited 7 whole minutes. 7 minutes and they did not text me back. So I'm like, okay, at this point, I don't know if like I should just take their food home, because I'm like ready to go home and this is my last order and it's raining outside, it's dark and it's late. Like literally, I don't know what to do at this point. All the other orders I called, they answered or they text back or they had some type of instructions. But this one just was a little difficult. I got out my car again and I was like, okay, maybe I should just like go up to this intercom, because this house was gated. Like this is a really nice area with a lot of nice houses. I went up to the intercom and I pressed the button. Like it didn't make any noise or anything, and I'm like, okay, so maybe I should speak now. I'm like, hey, did someone order Postmates? And they didn't say anything in the intercom at all. I'm like, okay, so this is getting creepy. I do not want to be that one black person in a movie that get killed because they did not leave when they were supposed to leave. I don't know if like the intercom went off and it stopped recording, or if it even started recording. I just heard like this gate open really slowly, and I'm like, this is gonna be the day where I get took and I'm gonna be a sex slave for somebody that got money. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing, but at the same token, I'm not gonna see my family no more. Like this is it. The gate is opening slowly, right? And then I creep my head around to see like, before I go in, they got cameras all over the place. I am pretty sure the person that ordered this food was like, what is this girl doing? I'm like, okay, we already made it to this point in the game. I can't go back to my car and I can't take this food home. So I just need to give them their food and run away. And hopefully they don't close the gate when I come through. I creep my head and I'm like, okay, it's a nice house. So I started like walking real slowly to the door. Then I see like the door open, but I couldn't see like who it was. They came out the door, but they turned around really quick, so I couldn't see their face. So then like he closed the door behind him, so all I could see like was the back of his head. And the guy turns around and I'm like, in my mind, I'm like shocked, but in person, I'm like, hey, did you order Postmates? And he's like, hey, I did. And I'm like, oh, okay, you ordered from Fatburger, right? And he's like, yeah. And I just like gave him his food. And he was like sort of looking at me like really weird. This guy is like in all the classic black movies. This is that guy. He worked with your favorite actors, actresses, and rappers. Like this is the guy. He's a legendary actor. And he's also in like this popular show that's on right now. But back then, 2 years ago, he wasn't on this show. Of course, the show just came out. I'm like starstruck, but I'm like keeping it cool, you know, and cute. But I wasn't cute this day. I wasn't cute. I just threw anything down. I was like, I'm about to make this money. He took his food and I was like, okay, well, you know, have a good night. And I turned around. As I was walking away, he was like, hey, you have a good night too. And I'm like, let me keep walking, because I think this man is married with kids, which he was, and I don't want no smoke with the wife, with the kids, with the family, with their fans, nothing. I don't want to be on no blogs. I don't want no smoke. I get to my car and I'm like, I cannot believe that just happened. Like all of that was so worth it. So I'm like driving home and I call my brother and I'm like, guess who the F I just saw? And he's like, who? And I'm like, and he's like, did you say anything to him? Did you tell him that you could sing about your music? And I'm like, no. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because I'm delivering Postmates. Especially like I'm at the house. This is supposed to be an in and out transaction. I got home and then I looked in the mirror and my whole face was in hives. And I'm like, oh my God, I truly hope this man did not just see me having an allergic reaction probably to his food, because he had my whole car smelling like onions. I'm not even allergic to onions, but this man had my car smelling like onions for like 3 days. I was like, okay, I gotta spray something. So I saw my face and I'm like, okay, hopefully he didn't get too freaked out to where he didn't want to eat his food because I had an allergic reaction while giving him his fat burger. Next day, that's when you find out if that person tipped you. I saw that he tipped me, but it was like only like maybe $4. He definitely saw that I had like an allergic reaction. He definitely saw the hives on my face, for sure. So I'm like, but you know what? I can't be mad. I just still feel like he could at least text me and told me to come to the door or something, you know? Like, it's not like I was gonna have his phone number. Like, they give you a fake number just so you won't have the customer's real number. Like, they protect the customers. I don't know what was his purpose behind all of that and not like texting back or answering the calls or having me ring the intercom and not saying anything. It was all worth it. I don't know if I blew it or if I was supposed to say something to him, but I was just like, I was kind of over it, but at the same time I was just like, wow, my first day. So that was my first and last time delivering food to a celebrity via Postmates. Go figure. So that's my story, y'all. Let me know what y'all think about this video. Like, comment, and subscribe. And also check out my other videos too as well. I can't believe I did that. Should I have said something to him even though I was delivering food to him? Y'all let me know in the comments. Until the next video, it's been real.